all right. Thank you very much. That so okay. Let me bust your bubble, guys. So you can mute Micah. There is nothing like color. There is nothing like color. Everything you see that exude color has no innate color in it. So you don't see black because, like how they say language is arbitrary. Maybe they say cup. You don't call a cup because it is a cup or because you use it to drink water. We call a cup because we all agree to call it cup. We can choose to call it chair. In as much as we reckon that collectively this is chair, a cup can be called chair. So there is no innate relationship between what an item is called to what the purpose of that item is. So let me relate it to color. There is nothing. So when you take let me take something. When you take this, every item, every object that you hold has a physical properties, a physical characteristics. So you can look at this and say one of the physical attributes or characteristics of this is the fact that it has a black color, right? And it has some pointers here and there. But then it is not black because the properties are black. It is black because your eye is seeing it as black. So building on what Mike has said, color is the light that refuses to be absorbed by an object. Meaning that if you turn off the lights in your house, what color do you see? What color do you see? Do you see colors? No, you don't. You see pitch black. Now, when you see pitch black, it means that there is no color, there is absence of light. Now, when you see white material, it means that all the color are present. Now, let me take that again. Color is what is reflected when light hits an object. Now, that object has different properties, and there are those objects that has the ability to absorb different rays of light and then maintain certain wavelength of light that it will not absorb. So the light rays that an object refuses to absorb is what it reflects, and the eyes now read it as color. I don't know if we are following. So without light, we would not have anything as color. So color is the presence of light reflected from an object. So different objects reflect light different way. Then you now ask me, how do we now have color that we used to color? Maybe we color this thing blue, we color this thing. So those things you call color are actually not color. They are called coating. So when you coat a material, you are applying a property to that material so that it will be able to absorb certain amount of light and reflect certain wavelength of light. I don't want to sound like a physics teacher, but I'm trusting that you guys are following me. So when you have a paint, you apply a paint on the surface of an item, and maybe you say, I want to color it blue. So that item, those things you use in coating it, what you call paint, you coat the object so that that object will now have the ability to absorb certain amount of light and reflect certain amount of light. So the amount of light it's able to absorb and the amount of light it's able to reflect will now produce, your eye now read it as color. So you see, we have situation where people say, some people have color blindness. People have color blindness. You have the eyes, but what you don't see color accurately because you have deformities in your eyes, because your eyes cannot properly read the wave of light accurately. Now, because you cannot read the wave of light accurately, it constitutes color blindness. Why am I doing this? Or why am I trying to take your mind backwards a little bit? It's because I really don't want us to be one of those. We are Africans. The future of many Africans depend on us. And I don't want us to navigate through this path without having a solid foundation of what we're even doing. So it is important that we have this basic understanding of how color works. And now, having this understanding of the fact that color is what is the amount of light reflected when it's come in contact with an object, then you now have an understanding that, okay, if I want to have a good color, then I'll bring too many things into consideration. I have to bring lighting into consideration. I have to bring set design into consideration, meaning that I'm going to bring items on my set that has the ability to absorb certain amount of light and have the ability to reflect certain amount of light to give you fine textured color at the end of the day. So I'm going to be sharing to buttress this, I'm going to be sharing my screen with you all so that you get to see. All right, are you seeing my screen, guys? Are you seeing my screen? Okay, good, yes. Good. So like I started with, what is color? Color is what we see when light bounces off an object and hit our eyes. The object absorbs light, some of the lights, color and reflect the rest. Our brain then turns this reflected light into the color that we see. Example, a banana looks yellow because it reflects the yellow lights and absorbs all other color. Grass looks green because it reflects green lights and absorbs all other colors. An object looks white when it reflects all the color. So when an object do not have the ability to absorb all the color, it does what? It reflects all the color. That's what you see it as white. An object looks black when it's what? Absorb all the colors. When light hits, so light travels as wave, short waves, long wave, and all. So, and all of these waves contains color, and those light waves that an object is able to absorb, and those that the object is able to reflect, now determine what our eyes now see as color. And I'm going to show you the electromagnetic spectrum of color, of light rather. So we have this electromagnetic spectrum of light, where we have the gamma rays, we have the X-rays, we have the ultraviolet rays. Now we now have the visible light. Now, in this visible light is from the gamma ray through the X-ray through to the ultraviolet ray. We cannot see it with our physical eyes because of the wave. Now, beyond the visible light, we have the thermal infrared imaging, we have the micro oven, we have the radio wave, we have, and so on and so forth. Now, let's see how this affects what we're doing. So within the visible light, we have from 400 nanometers to 700 nanometers, meaning that between, are you seeing my cursor here? You see my cursor, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So between this point to this point is what our eyes have the ability to see. So anything beyond this point, our eyes can no longer see it because of the wavelength. Anything before this point, our eyes is not able to see it because of the wavelength. So the from the ultraviolet ray to the infrared ray lies our visible light. The gamma rays are too short, the X-rays are too short, meaning that our eyes cannot comprehend them. And from the infrared rays upward are too long, meaning that our eyes cannot as well comprehend them. So we are limited within the scope of the 380 to 665 nanometers that is visible to the eye. So meaning that there are possibilities that there are more colors that we as humans cannot see. So you can check online and see other animals that have the ability to see more colors than we as humans can see. So if you have the proper, maybe if God gives you maybe the sight to have like an ultraviolet or an X-ray eyes, you'll be able to see more colors or less color as the case may be. Or if you have an infrared eyes, you can see more color or less color as the case may be. So moving on, that brings us to color wheel. So all of these things are what we're going to be working through in DaVinci Resolve, right? So that brings us to color wheel. We have 3 categories of colors, and the categories of colors are the primary colors, the secondary colors, and the tertiary colors. Now, the primary colors give birth to the secondary colors. Combine with the primary and the secondary give birth to what? The tertiary colors. And these colors work in pari passu with each other. Now, what are the primary colors? We have the red, yellow, and what? We have red, yellow, and what? Somebody, I want us to be engaging.
Blue.
Red,
Blue.
right? Red, yellow, and blue. Why is not green? Why is
It's just like the RG.
Yeah, so usually as colorists we are used to RGB, but green is not a primary color. Green is a combination of another color, but the primary color is R, that is the red, the blue, and yellow. So the mixture of this color give us the secondary color. So let's move further. So when we combine red and blue, it gives us purple. Now we're trying to move to secondary color, yeah? When we combine blue and yellow, it gives us green. That is why green is not in the primary color, right? Now when we combine red and yellow, it gives us orange. So purple, green, and orange are all secondary colors. So we now have secondary color from the combination of 2 primary colors. So the combination of 2 primary colors gives us the secondary color that we have. Now, we transition beyond the secondary color to the tertiary color. So the tertiary color is the combination of a primary color and a secondary color. Take for instance, we have the yellow and orange gives us yellow-orange. Now we have the red and orange give us what? Red-orange. We have red and violet give us red-violet. We have blue plus violet give us blue-violet, and so on and so forth. Now, one of the popular color that you guys all know, that we all know as colorists, is teal and orange. Is teal a primary color? Teal is not a primary color. Is orange a primary color? Orange is not a primary color. But these colors have been manipulated, both the primary, the tertiary color have been manipulated together to give us a fine looking teal and a fine looking orange to complement each other. Now, let's go back to our color wheel and let's see how it works. All of this color you see on these color wheels complement each other, meaning that if you want to go to a shoot and you want to have a very good color at the end of the day, you can easily consult your color wheel and look at the color and say, okay, I'm using green. What can I use to complement green? If you look at the color wheel, opposing color complement each other. Just take a moment and look at the color wheel. Opposing colors complement each other. Opposing colors complement each other. So even when you are color grading, your highlights can be one color, your shadow can be another color, and they both complement each other. So this doesn't only have to do with your choice of costume, it has to do with the choice of how you move your color wheels, your knobs in your color wheels at the end of the day to achieve a crisp looking image. Now, mind you, the reason why we use gray card, or maybe we want to always shoot log, is because gray is the middle ground between what and what? Gray is the middle between what and what?
White and black.
White and black. So gray is so gray is colorless. It's like there's nothing there. You have the ability to now improve on your black. You now have the ability to now improve on your white, as the case may be. But if you have a baked in color when you shoot, maybe you're not shooting on log, profile, or ProRes and all of these things, you have a baked in look, you are not able to be creative. Maybe you have more blacks or you have more whites, and this way it will limit your workflow. I don't know if you guys are following. So this is the reason why we shoot on log, so that we'll be able to what, manipulate our color. Let's move ahead. So we'll soon dive into DaVinci Resolve. I know everybody is hungry to get their hands busy with that, but yeah, we're getting there. So we have three major tones. We have the cold tones, we have the neutral tone, we have the warm tone. Now, all of these tones are determined by the kind of lighting that you have on set and the temperatures of this light. The type of lighting you have on set and the temperature you have on this light. Now, on this note, I'm going to pause for a minute and emphasize this. When you have a set and you see different kind of lighting, now this lighting have different temperatures. Now your key lights, your fill lights, your backlights, all of these lights do not have the same temperature. Some can be tungsten, some can be warm, some can be cold, depending on the creative choice that you are going with. So in all of these things, your choice of light determine the temperature of your subject that you're filming. Now, once you're able to choose an accurate light for the subject you're filming, you have done a good job in determining how the color of that subject would come out. Do you want to have a very crispy color? Do you want to have a very cinematic color, meaning that, not every color is cinematic. The fact that the color is not cinematic does not mean that it's a bad color. Like, let me say, commercial colors are usually not cinematic. They are just basic. Like, when I say basic, it's not like it's not fine, but they are just, nice, crispy, sharp, and all of these things. Cinematic colors are not always over crispy. You have different light temperatures complementing themselves. You have your backlight. I think Isaac, I'm seeing you have a backlight in your apartment, right? So you have a backlight that could be blue. You have a fill light that could be warm. Just to set the tone, just to set the mood of your subject or the scene entirely. So now, when you do lighting, you don't just light for the character. You light for the scene and place a character. What do I mean by that? Now, sometimes, as creative people, we set a character and do the lighting of the space to favor that character. Why that work for maybe beauty shoots and photography and all of those things that the focus is on the character. It does not work always when the focus is the film set or a film set. The lights do not always favor the character. Rather, you do lighting to favor the entire set. So how do you want people to see or to feel when they are watching your content or your framing? Do you want them to be focused on a character? You do your lighting to favor that character and ignore the background. Or do you want people to be carried together in the story of that moment? So whatever your intention is will now determine how you set up your lighting for the entire set. Now, to wrap up this section, before we dive into the practical section, like I said, we shoot camera profiles. We shoot on log just to have the gray card, to have the middle gray, so I'll be able to do our color grading. So if you have a time, you can just take a screenshot of this and then we move to the practical section. So take a quick screenshot and then we'll move. Can we move? Right. All right. So I'm going, if you're still seeing my screen, I'm going to be launching it in my DaVinci Resolve and walk us through everything I've just explained. Okay. Are you guys seeing my screen? Okay.
Okay, yes.
All right. So, oh, sorry. I was supposed to start it together for people who have not used DaVinci. So let me close it and turn it on again. So usually when you want to launch your DaVinci Resolve, so here you can, this is your interface, right? You can choose to want to create your project, and if you want to create your project, you just come down to the new project down here. Can you all see it? New project down there, and you type on it. Now this will pop up, and you can just say, I just put test, you name it, and wherever you want to save the project file, you choose the location. Do you want it to be in your downloads, or you want it to be in your hard drive? You choose the folder. Let me put it here and just save it there. Now I've choose the location where the project file of this project would be, and then I click on create. Okay, sorry, a name have already been open. Okay, so I just maybe add one and create, so the interface open. But I'm not going to be working on this one. Let me go back to my projects that I've already set up for this class. All right, so this is DaVinci Resolve interface. And the first thing first, as a good editor, is to create what we call bins. So you see there are different over here at your top left corner, you see media pool. Next to it you see effects. Next to it you see index, you see sound library, you see keyframe, right? And over here at your media pool is where you import your project. Now, what determines whether or not you have a good project or you have a good timeline is how you manage the import of your project. As creatives, we know that when we go to film, we have A rolls, we have B rolls, we have drones, we have sound, we have special effects, basically. So you don't just import things into your timeline and start working. You first of all articulate your timeline, meaning that you first of all arrange those files that you're going to be using for your project work into different bins, meaning the bins are like the folders that you put all your different shots, you know. So once you're in this media pool, you can right click and you see if you want to create new timeline, you can choose to create it. Right now, for me, let us we are going to be creating what new bins. Are you seeing it? So once you right click and tap on create new bins, it will come out like this, and let's name it A row. We all know what A rows are, the main shots, right? Now you right click again, create another bin, you name it B rows. You create another bin, you name it what? Drone. That is if your shots have like, you use like some drone footages and all. Then you create another bin, new bin, and you name it what? Sound. So if sometimes you go to shoot, could be documentary, could be whatever it is, your sound would maybe probably you record sound from different channel. Maybe you use an external recorder, an external audio recorder, so you have sound differently. So yeah, you create this for that. Now you create another bin where you have SFX, maybe your special effects sound. You are trying to do something cinematic, you have like all your risers, your follies, whatever those XFL use, special effects sound, you use that particular folder so that you're able to arrange your work in order, so that you don't just leave your timeline haphazard. So what is left? We have A rolls, we have B rolls, we have special effects sound, we have sound, we have drone, making them 5. Any other thing, maybe you have other footages of concern, you can open your bins and arrange your footage like that. So usually this is the work of a data wrangler. Editors do the work of data wrangling too, yeah. So, and if you go to shoot, just the way you do in your Premiere Pro, you have day 1. Under day 1, all of these folders will fall under day 1. Maybe you're doing a film project, you have day 1, all of this. So day 1 would have the B rolls, the A rolls, the special effect. No, I think you can leave special effect out of it. Maybe drone and sound, so that you know that in this folder contain all of the things, the footages that have to do with day 1 of the shoot. So moving forward, for us, we have our content already that we want to use. So you can just, now this, the footages you guys have is the ones we're going to be using for the classes today. So you can just highlight it, right? And drag it to the timeline. This is the timeline here. However, you can choose to right click and create new timeline. Tap on create new timeline. Now you now label your timeline. So this is online class. Let's say begin classes. Let me name it classes 0.1. So I choose to name this timeline like this. So basically, I want our audio to be on stereo, so you leave it like that. And the project settings, you can choose to uncheck this project setting down here at the left side. You can choose to uncheck it if you want to do a specific setting for your timeline. So when you uncheck it, it gives you all of these options. So what format do you want to work with? What is your timeline resolution? Do you want to work on a 1920 timeline or a 1080 timeline? Or you want to choose the various timelines that you have here, right? Now, so the custom time, the default resolution it comes with is the 1920 by 1080. Usually for me, I do my editing, even if I shoot on 4K, I do my editing on a 1920 timeline by 1080, and yeah. So basically, I don't want to do any settings there, so I just create a timeline. Now I have a timeline, we see it here, that is red. So I could just pick this, drag it here. So now I've imported this. So I now have these 2 clips in the timeline. Now, the first one here, the first icon here you are seeing here, is it allow you access to all the root files or the root folders of your project. So look, all of these things you see here are my hard drives that are connected to the system, and usually you have nothing to do with it here, so you don't need it. And here is what you're supposed to cut your footages before you edit it, do the final edit, and of course then the color grade. But I don't usually, the first 2 I don't work with them because it's like useless for me, so I go straight to the edits. That's the 3rd one. Now this is where you do all of your edits, and just the way you have it in Premiere Pro, you do all of your edits here. But today we're not focusing on edits, we're focusing on what? Color grading. Now we now go to, one thing I love about DaVinci Resolve is in Premiere Pro you have Premiere Pro as the editing software. Then you now have After Effects. So if you edit in Premiere Pro, you go to After Effects to do After Effects there. Then you now come back. I mean, it's stressful. But DaVinci Resolve has made it possible for you to do your effects and everything inside of DaVinci Resolve without having to use multiple software at the same time. So yeah, we have the Fusion page where you do all of your effects. If you want to do like all of those effects, you can do it on the Fusion page. But for now, we are not doing effects, so we're going straight to the color tab. So this is the color tab. This is where all of the color grading magic happens. Now this is where all of the color grading magic happens. But before you rush into start color grading, there are certain things that are very important that so many people miss out. You have to set, now every screen are calibrated differently. You have your phones that is calibrated differently. So sometimes you see color reviews, you say, oh my goodness, I color grade this thing, it's looking good in my laptop. And when I export it, I put it on Instagram, oh, it's looking crazy. You know, now you have to bear in mind that you're working against different screen that is calibrated differently. You know, so usually what I do before I begin color grading is to make sure I set my color space in the right frame, in the right with the right setting, so that my color, the way I have it on my system, is how I have it out there. And if you are using Mac, you know, like, I don't know what's wrong with Mac. All Apple calibrations are different from every other calibrations, you know. So you come down to your left, down to the right. You see this that looks like sprocket. Are you seeing it? Where my cursor is? Just nod if you're seeing it. Are you seeing it? All right. So
Yes.
okay. So hold on. Okay. So why am I out of? Okay. So you tap on it. Okay. So I think we're out. Okay. So you tap on it, and this page opens. This is very important. If we're able to understand what this thing do to our color today without even doing anything, I think we've done a lot. First of all, you have to scroll down and go to color management. Are you seeing color management? Oh, you guys, is your system not open? Do you guys have your system in front of you? I didn't even ask.
Yeah, I can see color management.
Yeah, did you all have your systems open?
Yes.
Okay, good. So if you're not seeing color management, just let me know. Okay. Sorry, I just needed to check. All right. Now, under this color management here, you see color science. Everything we are doing goes back to science. We have the yellow, red, green, and blue. Now they added so I say yellow, the YRGB. The Y sometimes it's not usually yellow, it's the light, you know, at the end of the day. So the color science for DaVinci Resolve, some people use DaVinci Resolve YRGB, color managed, meaning that DaVinci Resolve would automatically manage your workspace for you, you know. But what I do, I don't tamper with that. I don't want DaVinci Resolve to manage it for me. I want to be able to flex, right? So under the DaVinci Resolve YRGB, I leave it like that, and then come to timeline color space. Now, when you go to the timeline color space, usually it is Rec 709. I'm going to do an illustration. When we talk about color space, you see, I'm holding a passport. This is a passport, right? So the length, the width of this is the space of the passport. Now, I can have this and put it here. Which one has more space? The passport or this? Right.
The passport.
Now, Rec 709 is a color space, but it's just like this. Just as small as this.
Small.
Now, we don't want to work in a Rec 709 color space because your image can crush. You are not able to flex as much as you want to. It's like you are in primary school and you want to go to university so that you'll be able to flex, join gang and all of those things, do bad things. So we don't want to work in Rec 709 color space. So we have varieties of options. So for me, DaVinci Resolve have done a great job in providing you a wider color space that you can flex. So usually when you go to film with your camera, you shoot on log. So we now choose the color space that we now put our footage in. It's just like a lake and a pool, a lake and a pond, right? Now, for those of you in Ghana, we have one of the biggest lake in West Africa in Bosomtwe, yeah, in Kumasi. Now, very big lake. Just imagine, and the Weja Lake here. Just imagine the Weja Lake and the lake in the Bosomtwe Lake. So let's say the Rec 709 is like the Weja Lake. It's not as big as the lake in Kumasi. So that is how these things work. The Rec 709 is a limited space, but it's not like you cannot work there, but it's a limited space. So what we do is we now take it to DaVinci Resolve because it's a wider color space. DaVinci Resolve wide gamut. So the WG means wide gamut, intermediate. Can you say it?
Not yet. DaVinci
wide gamut,
okay.
Intermediate.
DaVinci
Can you say?
WG.
Yes. So the WG means wide gamut.
Yeah.
So yeah. So we click on that. Now the output color space. Now it's a funnel, right? The input color space and the output color space are two different things. Meaning that they say computer is like garbage in, garbage out. Input is what you put in, output is what you receive. Now, you can have your good input. Maybe you now say, okay, you want your image to be inside this DaVinci Resolve wide gamut space. That is the bigger lake, right? Now, how do you want people to see it at the end of the day? Do you want them to see it in that color space or in a different color space? So that is what the output color space is. So okay, I'll attend to your question soon. So what you receive and what you give out. So the input color space is what you are receiving and the output color space is what you are giving your audience. Now, usually you want to stay within the color space of the DaVinci Resolve wide gamut so that you are able to do your editing and then send your footage to other color space that is suitable for you. Joshua, what's your question?
So I have 3 questions. I've been working with DaVinci for like almost a year now.
Okay.
So let's say in that color space, color management, my timeline space is like 709C. But in my node structure now, I use an IDT and an ODT, where the IDT is from like 709 into DaVinci Gamut intermediate. Will that affect, or will it still be hindered by that like 709 colors, 709 scene I use in my timeline color space? Because I use an IDT and ODT.
Okay,
my node structure.
All right, so you are faster than your shadow, so calm down. So that's not a concern. That is, we'll address it when we move forward, right? So, okay. So that's we are getting there. So we'll address that when we move forward. So now the output color space. For me, I use an Apple system. So usually, if you're using Windows, the best output color space is the Gamma 2.4 because most of the screens you have around the world and the phones have that calibration to Gamma 2.4, right? Rec 709, Gamma 2. You see the Rec 709 that we escaped, that we ran from, and we say we don't want to work inside that color space. It's what most of the screens around the world sees. So we don't want to work inside of it, but want people to see using that output color space. So usually if you're using Windows and every other this thing, Rec 709 Gamma 2.4 is your go-to output color space. But if you're using Mac like I am, Rec 709A is your best bet because of your color your screen color calibration. You understand? So Rec 709A is your best bet at the end of the day. Now, once you have this done, you scroll down. You scroll down to 3D lookup table down here. Are you seeing it?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of leaving it at trilinear, you take it to tetrahedra. I'll explain why when we move forward. But I just want you guys to just follow this. Instead of leaving it at trilinear, you take it to what? Tetrahedra. Now, come down, you see make broadcast save. You check it. Are you seeing it? The last thing down there. Make broadcast save. You check it and you click on save. So you have been able to do a good job with setting your color management. You have managed you have done a good job with your color management, so to say, right? Now, any question before on that note before we move forward? What we're going to be doing next is going to be laying emphasis on what we've already done. I'm going to be showing you why it is important and all of those things. But any questions before we move forward? So far we've done basically a tour into our DaVinci Resolve, right? And we've gone to do our color management. We know that, okay, whatever we're going to be doing now is going to be accurate and all of those things. So in this color space, we have different nodes. Okay, so Bright.
Yeah, so the question I have is that,
Micah, can you mute? Okay, good. Right, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm saying that this particular setting that you just did, right, in terms of the color management, so it means that you have to take each and every log footage through this process, right? Any log footage, you need to do this process.
Okay, no. Any timeline you open, any new, maybe not timeline, any new project you start. So you can have multiple timelines in the same project. Let me explain. So you see, let's go back to our edit tab. You see we have, where's our timeline? This is our timeline here, this class 0.1, yeah? Now, you can choose to have multiple timeline. Maybe if you're editing a film, maybe you want to, maybe the one you want to sync the one, you want to edit the one in one timeline, open another timeline for the two, open another timeline for the three, depending on whatever you want to use the timeline for. All of these timelines are still under the project. Are you following? Are still under this project that you have opened already. What we started with by naming the project, the whole project. Timelines are under the project. So project is different from timeline. So now, if you're working in the same project, like you've not closed this one to open another project, and maybe if you're working on this project, once you do these settings, you don't have to do it for any other thing again. You are done with it. So every footage that you put in, you are sure that you are protected. You understand? You are protected. So every footage you put in, you have to address them one after the other. But at the base of it, you don't have to go through this color management again because you have already managed it. You have already set it like that. So you don't have to go there. Did I answer your question? Right. All right. So moving forward, we have nodes in DaVinci Resolve. This thing that you see here, that my cursor is circling, they are called nodes, yeah? And these nodes, they are layers. And these layers are transparent. Do you understand? So whatever you do here affects your image. In Premiere Pro, you use what we call adjustment layers. You stack adjustment layers, different adjustment layers, as the case may be. and you use them to work. In DaVinci Resolve, we don't use adjustment layer. There's adjustment layer, but we don't typically use it for this purpose as much. We use nodes. So the nodes serve as adjustment layer. So if you are a total beginner, the best way to understand this is this. It's just like a filter. It's like a sieve. Maybe, I don't know. It's like a sieve that when you pour water, it sieves it down. So whatever you do on it affects what is beneath it. So the nodes are transparent layers that whatever you do affect your image at the end of the day. We're going to be building further. So just bear this in mind that these are nodes. And the way you structure the nodes determine how you do the color at the end of the day. Now, we have here color wheels. Remember, we've done our primary colors, secondary colors, and tertiary colors. Now you will not see all of those colors again. You will only see these color wheels. We have the primary colors, the primary color wheel. We have the color bars, the primary color bars. We have the log wheels. I'm going to be telling you how and when to use these wheels and the purposes that they serve. We have the primary color wheels. Now we have the color bars. Now we have the log wheels. Now we have HDR. That is a wheel on its own, and it serves different purpose entirely. We have the RGB mixer, serve different purposes entirely. We have the motion effects, different purpose. We have the custom curve. We have the color wrapper, the color slides rather. We have the color wrapper. We have the HSL qualifier. We have the power window. We now have the tracker window. We now have the AI magic mask. We now have the blur. So depending on what you want to do, you can use sharpen. You want to blur your image, you want to sharpen your image, or you want to add some mist. This is the tool for you. Now you want to reduce the intensity of anything you're working on. We'll get to that. I'm just walking you through all of these interfaces so that you get acquainted or you get accustomed to these interfaces. And as you make progress, you will now see the need. Let me bring your mind to something here. In color grading, if you don't see the need to do something, don't do it. You don't do it because you want to, you just feel like it's cool to use it. You do it because you see the need. There are tools here that I have never used before because maybe I don't know why I need to use them at the moment. But maybe in the future, the need will arise and I will have to use them. But be patient with yourself and stick to what you need and build going forward. Now, we have this for sizing and whatever you want to do. You want to change size of an image or something, and this the 3D here usually is locked until you want to open your Fusion page and want to work inside there. Now, coming to the primary log views. For me, so the reason why I always say for me, it is me teaching you. There are different ways to approach. They say there are different methods to madness. Yeah, there are different ways to approach color grading. So I am teaching you my approach and what has been working for me, and hoping that it's going to work for you as well. Now, so for me, I use the primary color wheels to do the primary color corrections, and so mind you, pay attention to this log wheel here. Are you seeing this one here? The first one that my cursor is. Are you seeing it? Can you see it? Right. Now, then the log. Yes. Now the log wheel is the other one. So if you mistake, because they all have similar color wheels. So if you say, okay, it's the same thing, let me just use any one to do whatever I want to do, you'll be mistaken. So the primary wheels, the primary color wheel affect the entirety of your color to a good extent. Now, the log wheel, you use it when you want to do nuanced effects. You want to have like some small effects. You don't want it to be too much. You just want to be nuanced. You know, color is not good when it's too vibrant, like it's everywhere. It's like, no, you have to make sure that it sits properly with your image and what you have and all of that. So for me, I do my primary corrections and primary colors with the primary color wheel, and then do the look, you know, with the log wheel. So I'm going to be walking you through the steps I use when trying to convert an image that is looking gray, as we have here in my screen. The image is looking gray, you know, so we need, this is how I filmed it, and we need to transform it to something that we can put out there and people appreciate, and of course we can deliver to our clients respectively. Are we following? Am I talking too fast? Oh, no. Right.
No.
All right. Please, this is going to be a total waste of our time if we are not involved in this process, right? So, basically, if you are here and you want to start working, for me, I'm going to show you the node tree structure, that if you use that node tree structure, you would not have any need to do any other node tree structure until you want to do more advanced. In fact, even want to do advanced stuff, you can do it inside it. And I mean, everything you need is contained inside the node tree structure. Now, the first thing, was it Aldo was saying? It was talking about IDT, ODT. I want to confuse all of you people that are new to DaVinci Resolve. You know, he want to intimidate. he want to intimidate all of you people, but don't worry, I'm here for you. So the first, God will bless DaVinci Resolve. Whoever created DaVinci Resolve, God will bless all of them for us. So the first thing first is to add another node. Right click, you see add node. Now there are different kinds of node, and I'm going to be explaining what these nodes do. We have serial node, we have serial before. Now, serial node and serial before are the same thing, but the difference is the serial node is the node you add going forward. The serial before is the node you add before. So meaning that if I want to add a serial node, I just click on it. Do you see node 2 pop up, right? Now, are you seeing node? This is the first node is node 1. The second node is node 2. Imagine that there's nothing here. Maybe there's nothing here totally. You want to add a node. You just right click and you see add node. You want to add corrector, add splitter, or anything you want to do. But then you can just click option S. Your first node is there. Option S gives you serial node. I don't know if you're following. When you press option S, I don't know what that is in Windows. Option S. I've been using a Mac for a very long time. I forgot how to even use Windows.
Alt and S.
Alt S. So you can just type Alt S and see how it goes. Now, when you right click on it, you want to add serial before. You see it comes behind it as 1. So I mean, it's as simple as that. So we have the first node and the second node. So let's start with the first node, move to the second node. So the first thing we want to do is to transform our image from this log that we have shot on to the color space. Now, what did we set our timeline to? What color space did we set our timeline to?
DaVinci WG gamut.
Right. We set our timeline to DaVinci wide gamut. So since we have set our timeline to DaVinci wide gamut in our color management, we should now transform this image that you're seeing here to DaVinci wide gamut. Now, how do we transform this gray image that you're seeing here to DaVinci wide gamut? Now, we need to know two things. One, what camera did we shoot with? So knowing the camera you shot with is very important. Now, it is the camera that you shot with that will give you an idea of what you should use to transform the image. For me, I have a Sony FX3 and I shoot most of my content with Sony. Now, so for this, the purpose of this tutorial, we're using is Sony footage. So usually I will go to effects up here, just close to the node, go to effects. I see the effect. So let's be doing it together, right? We'll go to effect. You now use the search and type in color space transform. You see it's color space transform. Are you following? So you type in color space transform. Now, have you all seen the color space transform? Now you now drag it to node 1.
All right.
Have you done it?
Yes.
So immediately you do that, you now see the color space transform open. You now say, all right, here I am. Do what you want to do with me. I am here. Just like I am here now. So we have different things that we're going to need to transform. So we have the input color space and the input gamma. Then the output color space and the output gamma. These things are not hard to remember or to know. The input color space and the input gamma is the color space of the camera you shot with. Sony have a color space. They call it S-Log or S-Cine3 and whatever it is. So the Sony color space, Lumix have its color space, Panasonic has its color space, Arri has its color space, Red as a camera have its color space. So the question you ask yourself, what camera did we use to film this content, or what camera was used to shoot this content? That is what once you know the camera. Me, I know the camera I use in shooting this content. I use the Sony. So I'm now type in the use timeline. Instead of using timeline, I will go to search for it. Sony. I seen it Sony S-Gamut 3 Cine.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody, are you guys here? The S-Gamut 3 Cine. That is what I set in my you can use S-Gamut 3 or S-Gamut, but me, I use the S-Gamut 3. That's what I set my camera color space to when I film. So I use that as the input color space. Now I want to go to the input gamma. I look for Sony S-Log 3. S-Log 2 and S-Log are the older version. So we are now in S-Log 3, right? I use the S-Log 3. So because I shot this on Sony, now you can see clearly the Sony. Please, if you are lost at any point, just raise up your hand. I would attend to your question. I want all of us to be on track. Okay. Sorry. 1 minute. Okay. So the input color space now, the output color space now should be the DaVinci Resolve color space that we have set. So we'll go and search for what? DaVinci Resolve Wide Gamut and DaVinci Resolve Intermediate. This is the first step. I've inputs, and if you notice it, our image is already changing. Right? It's already changing. Let me off it. You see, this is how it was. Now it has become darker. Are you seeing it? So it is already reading what we are doing. So we do the input color space, the Sony S-Gamut 3, Sony S-Log 3 with DaVinci Wide Gamut and DaVinci Intermediate. So quick one, before we move forward, I'm going to ask somebody to answer this question for me. Lucas, are you here? Is Lucas here? Okay. Josh Mario, are you here? Kindly unmute.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Imagine this content that we are.
Sorry.
Okay. So, all right. I'll ask Lucas the next question. So, Josh, go on and take this one. Imagine this. What we just did now. Imagine we shot this on using an Ari Alexa. How do we transform it on this very first node? What do we do first?
Okay, so first we look for in our inputs, we look for the Ari color space the camera was shot on.
Okay. Hold on. Let us all go and check and see. Oh, we now see Ari, right?
Yeah.
So we now choose
Yes.
Ari. So what will be the second one?
Yes. So now we come to the Ari input gamma.
Let's
so
look.
probably Ari raw or Ari log, whatever.
Okay, so we see. Okay, we now see it as Ari log C, right?
Yes.
And here would be
Yes.
what?
We maintain the DaVinci white gamma because of our previous
Good.
color science we did.
Good. Is it that I'm a good teacher or you have the experience already?
Oh, I've been following.
Okay. That's good. I'm impressed. So seems like you are following, right? Everybody's following. So let's go back to our Sonny. I'm going to tell you guys something that is not so good, but it's going. I mean, if you are editing, if you are color grading, you don't have to be glued to principle or to system or to patterns. You know, you have to be open to try different things. So usually, because I have already set my timeline color space already, you see this input Sony S-Log3 here. I don't usually do it. I leave it as use timeline. Do you get? So I'm still protected.
Okay.
I'm still protected. You understand? So I don't have to bake in that log profile. I'll just use timeline. Now the next node, we now go back to our color space and drag it on the second node. Now remember, where did we stop here? We stop at what? DaVinci wide gamma mode and DaVinci intermediate. So we now start from that DaVinci wide gamma mode and transform it. So the first one will now be what? Anybody answer? What would the first one be?
DaVinci
Wide gamma mode. God bless you.
gamma.
So now look for DaVinci wide gamma mode. And the second one would be DaVinci intermediate. Look, I'm going back to the first one. You see it, the output color space and the output gamma, they are both DaVinci. Now, meaning that right now, you see between 1 and 2 is called a space. Do you get? Between 1 and 2 is a space. Just like one node, the first node is pillar 1, second node is pillar 2. So our interest is to work in between these two pillars. Are you guys following? Our interest is to work in between those two pillars. So whatever comes after this one now would be what people will see, the audience will see, not what happened in between these two pillars. It is what this transform and this transform. Now, after we put in the DaVinci wide gamma mode, the DaVinci intermediate, we now go to Rec 709 because all the screens that you see out there are calibrated to what? Rec 709. And the output gamma, it can be gamma 2.4. But me, so for you guys that are using Windows, you see, you can use gamma 2.4. Are you guys seeing?
Yes.
Now, for me, I'm using Mac. I can then go to use Rec 7. I'm going to use Rec 709 and then Rec 709A. It's the same thing with gamma 2.4 for you guys that are using Windows. Now, are you seeing my screen? Is our image already looking like something? Guys, is our image looking like something already?
Yes, yes.
Now, have we done anything? We have not started pushing one color up, pushing one color down. No. We have not done anything. We just did what? Transform our image from what we shot it to what people can see and appreciate. So this is already looking good. You know, this is already looking good. That is why I say God will bless DaVinci Resolve. You get, it makes your work easy. Now, before you start doing cranking this and cranking that, having the knowledge of what to do is very important. Now, to go further, if I want to just edit this without using LUTs, I will stop here. If I want, because usually DaVinci Resolve has custom LUTs. And if I want to do this without using LUTs, I'll just stop here and then continue do my color grading. But I'm going to show you something that most people, sometimes, how many of you, please guys, be honest with me, how many of you have used LUTs before and you don't like what you saw? Just raise your hand. You have used LUTs before and you don't? Okay. Now, good. Now, LUTs. Let me explain what film LUTs are. You see this thing, this color grading that we're going to do, at the end of the day, we are going to generate a film LUT, right? We're going to generate a film LUT that we're going to apply. So what I do most of the times when I do my color grading, because I have done so many color grading, I have generated different LUTs. Like as I do this, if I like it, I'll just save it as a preset. For people who are into photography, they call it preset and all of these things. Now, sometimes you see people, colorists selling their LUTs, buy my LUTs, and all of these things. You now buy it, you be like, when you see it on the advert, it looks wow. But when you now buy it and put in your image, you think like, okay, now I'm going to have a good image. You now like, oh my God, what is this? You see? Now, what they are not telling you is their own screen calibration. What is their color management? How did they manage their color space? So that whatever LUT you apply, when you apply it, the same LUT, it will look good on your image. Another time is their exposure, how they expose their camera, how they expose whatever they did. It varies from your own. So you cannot have the same look. Do you get? You cannot have the same look because it's not the same light intensity. I've never bought a LUT in my life. You get? So it makes no sense. You see, every LUT you see, it's something you can create. Everything I've done, I've always used my own LUTs. You know, my own presets. And DaVinci Resolve have film look that have been emulated from different film looks that you see. So if you go back in the 90s, how many of you guys have watched Vikings, Valhalla, The Last Kingdom, you know, and all that? You see, the color is not vibrant. The color is just there. You understand? But it's good. It's not overly vibrant. It's just so nice and so natural and all of those things. So they use different kind of film look to achieve that's at the end of the day. But importantly, how you compose your shots, how you do your lighting determine how it looks at the end of the day. That is why as a colorist, before you accept any job to color grade, you have to review the footages. As I am, when you bring some kind of job and say color grading, when I look at it as so you guys have shot what is beyond my ability. So people go and shoot rubbish and expect you to do magic. So you don't, when people shoot rubbish, please do yourself a favor, don't take that job. Because it will crush your self-esteem as a colorist. You know, because you will try all the things, the image is not looking good. You know, so, and at the end of the day, you deliver it, the client will be like, I thought you're a good colorist. Why are you giving us a bad image? You know, so before you take up any job, ensure that they shot it very well. And most times, if you have a client as a colorist, make sure you have conversations with them, with the cinematographer, and understand what they are going for, so that you'll be able to follow up with how you color grade it. Now, before you even start color grading, there's what we call reference image. You have to have a reference image at heart or physically that you're looking at. If I want to achieve certain kind of color, I'll go and say, okay, which kind of film has this color that I'm looking at? I'll go and look at the film, maybe take a screenshot and be looking at it. I'll be like, okay, this scene has like blue in the shadows, red in the highlight. So you now say, okay, you are putting this here and there, putting it so that you'll be able to emulate that color to achieve the same color in your image. Are you guys following? All right. So now we have two nodes. And the third node is when you want to use a film lot. Now, like I always say, even if you want to use a film lot, don't use it too much. Make sure it is small. Just put it small so that it will not crush your image. It will not take over your look, because film lots are like baked in. They are baked in so much so that you cannot really manipulate it as much as you want to. So you now go to the color space transform, take it and put it there. So how do you transform this? Anybody? How do we transform from here to the next thing? What was our last in our first node? So we have what? Rec 709, Rec 709A. For people that are using Windows, their own should be Gamma 2.4, yes? So for us that are using Mac, our own is Rec 709A. So we take this same reading and take it to the third node. Rec 709. Then Rec 709A. But for if you're using Windows, Gamma 2.4 is what you're using. Then Rec 709. Then this output gamma should be Cineon film log. Cineon film log. Are you guys there?
Yes.
Right. Now you have now prepared your image to receive a lot. Now you see, let me off the node. Let me turn it off. Is this one and this, which one is looking more colored?
The first one.
This is looking more colored, right? So there is already a big one. Yeah. So now now you see what we talked about Rec 709. This is Rec 709. Imagine that this is how you shot your image. You can already see color. Do you get? Now, in the case where this is how you shot your image and you're already seeing color, the only salvation you have is to transform it from this. So you know, instead of starting with one, you transform it from the Rec 709 to this to be able to work. Now, but if you leave it like this, just imagine you apply a lot here. Let me create a node, Option S, and I want to apply a lot here. This is already too hard. The images look colorized already. Just imagine I go to lots. So follow me. Come up to the right, top left rather. You see lots. Top right, you see gallery. You see lots, right? Are you guys there? So
Yes.
good. So I have different lots that I've generated already over time. So now the film look, this one comes with DaVinci Resolve. All of you guys have it. So you see film look, all of you have it.
Yes.
Now tap on the Rec 709 Kodak 2838 D55. Are you seeing how our image look like? Just tap on it. Is it looking good, guys? Is it looking good? Now.
No.
All right, so now. So, because this output color space is not ready to receive a lot. That is why when most of you guys apply lots, it looks rubbish and you're like, oh my goodness, what is this? So, how to apply it is to now add the third node and transform it. Tap on your effect, you see our transformation from Rec 709 to Cineon film log. So some other people stop at only the second one and do the same thing we did in this third one in the second one. However, I'm teaching you my way. Right. So now we'll now open our fourth node. We'll now option X, fourth node. We'll now go back to that lots and apply our film lots there. Guys, this one and that first one that I showed you, which one is looking better?
Yes.
Right. Now, you see, the color is not choking the image. Right? So, our image is now ready for color grading. I have done everything possible, right, to bring the image to this point, and our image is now ready for other further. Don't get me to that. We're already color grading already. You understand? So far, so good. We're already color grading. We're already in a very good ballpark. So what I do is I will highlight this third node and the fourth node. I will highlight them and right click, create a compound node. Are you seeing it? Are you seeing create a compound node? You highlight the third and the fourth node. Highlight it like this and right click, create. You now come down, you now see create a compound node. You tap on it, so it's blend the node 3 and 4 into one. It's now a compound node. Are you guys following? It's now a compound node. Now, before we move further, we'll now analyze this image to see what is wrong with this image and what we need to work on. Now, if you're not a good colorist, you'll be like, okay, this image is looking good. What do I need to do here? But I mean, there's so much that needs to be done to get our image looking sharp and crisp the way we would appreciate it. I've not seen any lady on this class, so let me go down and check. We have Dida, we have Faith O'Malley. Okay. We don't want to have lady colorist. Faith, are you there? Can Faith hear me? Okay, if you are hearing me, you are muted. Dida, can you hear me? Is Dida there? Okay, it seems like our two ladies in the house are all muted, and maybe they are doing some other things. So let's forge ahead. Okay, sorry. Are you guys still seeing my screen?
No.
Oh, there's a whole lot of comments here that I'm not even seeing.
Oh, but me, I'm seeing your screen.
You are seeing my screen?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you all seeing my screen now?
Yeah. I don't see.
All right. So if you all see my screen, let's forge ahead. So the first thing first, between node 1 and 2 is where our major work is. So between node 1 and 2 is where we're going to be doing our color work. So let's label it. The first node is what? Input color space. Let's call it input color space or CST 1. Color space transform 1, right? The second one, so if you want to label it, you just tap on it, right click. You see node label CST 2. Now this one is supposed to be a CST 3, but it's already a compound node, so you see it there as compound node. So Option S, we create serial node. Option S. So you guys be creating as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fifth one, option P, create parallel node. We're going to be labeling them one after the other. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is, what do you think is wrong with this image? Guys, what do you think is wrong with this image? Now, what do you think, guys, is wrong with this image? Bright, go ahead.
Yeah, so what I think is wrong with this image is that the first of all, the skin tones are not in line, right? And the background of the image and the image itself, right? The colors, especially the image in general, everything is blending, so you can't really see the difference between. You can't really see separation of the background and then the image as well. Yeah.
Excellent.
And the highlights.
Excellent. So you talk about the skin tones are not sitting quite right. There are highlights, and there's no separation. And what do we use in doing all of these things? It's lighting, right? So meaning that we need to touch our light, adjust our lighting. Now, for me, when I shoot with my Sony FX3, I think, how many of you guys use Sony? How many of you use Sony? Right. So when I shoot with Sony, I used to shoot with one stop overexposed, so that I will have more power, creative power on the exposure of the image, right? At the end of the day. So I'm not going to start, I'm going to show you a good, okay, maybe for tomorrow class, I'm going to leave that for tomorrow. This is going to be too much for you. I don't want to start teaching you bad things earlier on this class. But what I'm going to do first, in this first node, I'm going to work on the exposure. But before working on the exposure, I will create a node. I'll work on the white balance. Now, don't use your eye and look at this image and be like, oh, this is not this. The way to know whether an image is good or an image is bad is your waveform. Now, guys, are you seeing my waveform down here? Are you seeing my waveform?
Yes.
Now, you need to understand how a waveform works. Now, this waveform that you're seeing is, I told you guys that color is waves. That is why we started these classes with understanding light waves. What you are seeing here are different light waves on our subject. And it has a reading from 0 to what? 1025. From 0 to what? 1025. Now, from 0, if, just look at the wave. Let me do something. Watch the wave, guys. What are you seeing?
It has gone down.
What color is our image?
It's gone dark.
The image has gone dark. You know why? Because I took lights out of it. But the color is still there now, Abby. But why is it black? So that's why I explain. We started with explaining that color is light. Is the light reflected, and the light up. So the lights, if you understand physics, is the ratio of light absorbed to the ratio of light reflected, and the ratio of light reflected to the ratio of light absorbed. Now I've taken all the lights. We don't have color. Now I bring back all the lights. What do we see?
White.
White.
It's blown up.
Good.
Because the lights are too much.
Good, because now we are seeing all the colors. All the colors are available. It is reflecting all the color. So when an object reflects all the color, we only get to see white. You know, so when we have a good color is when we have some light absorbed and some light reflected. But when we have all the light absorbed, it is black, and when we have all the light reflected, it is white. Now, look at how this thing works on the waveform. Are you seeing that all the line now is in 896 is white, right? All of it has gone up. Let me be bringing it down gently so I'll be seeing it. Are you seeing the waveform coming back? Are you seeing the color coming back? Guys, are you seeing the color coming back?
Yeah.
Now I'm taking all the color out, all the light out. So the color is coming back one after the other. Now until I take it down, all the color goes absorbed. Reflect all the color, absorb all the color. But where we are now see where this our line is. Our line is directly in between the white and the black. So you see this straight line is the mid gray. Is the mid gray. So it's the points between white and black. So that is where our color are both sitting. Now, if you look at your waveform, we have different colors. We have blue, we have green, we have red. Which color is like shouting up, up, up?
The red.
The red. So why would red, is red the senior brother of other colors? Why is red showing itself too much? That means our image have problem. Because red is overdoing. So we need to address that. Are you guys learning something? I mean, most of you know these things, but I mean, it's basic thing. And for you guys that are just learning this for the first time, red is too much. That is how you read waveforms. Now, I'm going to do probably another time entire classes on how to understand scopes and waveform and all of these things. But this is important to understanding how to read our image. Now, we have not just waveform, we have the scopes. No, sorry, this is the curves. We have our scopes here, our primary wheel. This one's the readings are just constant. It has nothing to do with the image right now until you tweak them. But under this waveform, there are what called parade, we have vector scope, we have histogram, we have CIA chromaticity. Now, all of these ones are important for understanding an image differently. Now, the first one we use is waveform. Let's change it to parade. Now, in this parade, which color is still outstanding? Is the red. So, let's look at the red channel. From beginning to the end of red is this image, the entire screen that you're seeing. The entire image you are seeing is what the red, you are seeing red on its own entirely from beginning to the end, only red. Now, from beginning to the end of the image, from the right, that is the right, from the left to the right of the image, the entire square of the image is what you are seeing as red, as green, as blue. So you are seeing different channels, different waves rather, of red and different waves of green and of blue. Now, these things you are seeing, it is the DNA of your image that you're looking at. You're now reading. Now you're not looking at just the physical thing. You're not reading the DNA. What is going on? You understand? Using the light. We talked about lighting and how some reflect and some refract, and of course some absorb. So this is the DNA of it. Now that is parade. Now we'll go to vector scope. Oh my goodness. Are you guys seeing what red is doing to us? Red, and so it is like red and yellow are like trying to do us some kind of things. Are you guys seeing? Now, but this vector scope is the same thing as your color wheel. Now, because it's the same thing as your color wheel, you know that whatever that you see red. Guys, look at your vector scope. I see red at the top. So, you know, a cycle is how many degree? 360 degree, right? Makes a whole cycle. So divide the cycle by 2, it gives you what? 90 degree. 180 degree rather. Right? Now divide that 180 degree into 2, it gives you 90 degree. Then divide it again, it gives you 45 degrees. Now, red is sitting at your 180. Magenta is sitting at your 45. Is it 45 thereabout? Blue is sitting at your 90, and cyan and green and yellow are following the same pattern as well. So, reading from this vector scope, we know that our image is gravitating towards yellow and blue. Are you guys seeing yellow here and green, red here rather? Yellow and red. So our image is struggling between both yellow and red. Now, in a good situation where we have our image in check, it should all be aligned in this skin tone indicator. So there is this line here. I'm coming. Let me do something so that you'll be able to see. Let me down the saturation now. So are you guys seeing this light? This line? Are you seeing this line? This straight line here?
Yes.
It is called the skin tone line. Meaning that our skin tone, to have a good skin tone that is not affected by blue, red, green, this thing that you see here should be sitting on that line. But right now, our image is not, I just have to desaturate it so that we can see this line and make emphasis because it is everywhere. Now, what we can do to address this situation is this. Because this color is spilling out of this circle, we are going to address it not from our color wheel and all of this thing. I like addressing it from the compound node. So double click on the compound node, it will take you inside the 2 node. You know, we combine the 2 node, node 3 and the lots, and we combine it together and create the compound node. Yes. So you double click on it, it will take you into the compound node, and inside that, you click on your effect. So you now see, to address this issue here on the vector scope, I will go to gamut mapping method. Are you seeing it? Under gamut mapping. Sorry. Under tone mapping. Are you seeing tone mapping?
Yes.
Under tone mapping, I'll come to hold on. Sorry, under gamut mapping method, I'll come to saturation compression. Now, when you click on the saturation compression, I'll now die down. Okay, so normally, are you see? Okay, wait, hold on. It seems like, look, are you seeing it? Are you seeing what is happening here? It has bring back all of the details into the cycle. I'm taking the saturation marks down a little bit and taking the saturation need down a little bit. So I have contained all of the spill, the color spill that is trying to spill outside the color wheel. I don't know if this makes any sense.
It does.
All right. Please, I don't want you guys to be confused. So I've addressed that already. Now, I'll come to the second node, which is what? Exposure. But I don't like addressing exposure until I do the white balance. So, okay, what I do with the white balance is this. So many people have so many technique of addressing white balance, but here's mine. Right click on it and go to gamma. Then on the first thing there, you see linear. When we hear linear, what comes to your mind? Remember when we were in school, secondary school, we have linear equation. When you hear linear, it means straight, right? So I right click come to gamma and click on linear. Have you guys done that? Now, once you do that, you come down to, remember we're in our primary, so we're doing our primary correction. Now we have begun our primary correction. So on the primary color wheel, I'll come to the Lumetrics mix, this Lum mix. It is the full meaning is Luma mix. Luma is lights. So I'll kill it totally. So once I do that, I'll kill the Luma mix totally because I want to address a specific color that is harassing us. Now, I'll go back to my waveform. I want to address this red issue and all of that. So remember, we'll go to the white balance node, right click, and go to gamma, go to linear. Now, once we do that, we kill the Lumetrics mix totally. Then we'll come to our gain wheel. Now, let me explain this gain wheel. We have lifts, gamma, and gain under the primary nodes. Lifts, gamma, and gain. Lift is the shadow. Gamma is the midtone. Gain is the highlights. So, excuse me, let me take a call. Hello? Yeah. No, not yet. Not yet. What's up? Who is at home? Okay. Can you call them directly, please? All right, sorry about that. So I'll kill what do you call it? The Luma mix. Sorry, this call just distracted me. And once that is done, so the lift, gamma, gain is the shadow, the midtone, and the highlight. Now, we all know what shadow is. We all know what midtone is. We all know what highlight is. We'll get back to that in due course, right? Now, it's the same thing for your log. We have shadows, midtone, highlight, and offset. So this one also have an offset. An offset is the entirety of an image. So it affects both the shadow, it affects both the midtone and the highlights, everything together. But when you are working on the lifts, you are affecting only the shadow. Look at the waveform. Are you seeing, is it picking from down up? Are you guys seeing the waveform? Look at the waveform. Are you seeing it? It is starting from ground up. Now, I'll reset it. If you are working on the midtone, look at the waveform, guys. It's not packing it from ground as it is. It's like working more in the middle. And the highlights, it is affecting more of the topper part of the waveform. Are you guys following? So, these wheels affect different parts of the image differently. The shadow, the midtone, and the highlights. Now, remember I want to work on let me reset this totally so that I'll be sure. Remember I want to work on the white balance. That is what so many people don't do. You first of all white balance your image so that your blacks will be black, your whites will be white. And there is no color overcast. You don't have red or yellow overcasting on the image. So I've done the linear, I've converted this node to linear, and I've killed the Lumetric mix. So I'm going to go to the highlights, this gain here, this gain wheel, right? And click on this center knob, Now, the opposite color of, let's go to the vector scope. What is directly opposite red and yellow? What is directly opposite red and yellow?
Blue and teal.
Blue and cyan, right?
Yeah.
blue and cyan, right? So M means magenta. This one you see is magenta. So that means if I must reduce this red and yellow, I need to add blue and what? Cyan. So that is what I'm going to be doing with this gain wheel. I'll be this thing that you see in the center. If you just click on it, it is movable. So I'll be dragging it a little bit down towards blue and cyan. Not too much, just more. Now look at what we have done. Let me off this. Are you seeing it? Off, on, off, on. Is our have we addressed the issue or not?
Yeah, it's working. Yeah.
You see?
Gradually.
Exactly. Now we have introduced the blue and cyan into it so that it will make up for the red and the red that is too much and all of these things. So let's go back to our waveform. So it's showing that our red is still a little bit more than this. Now, if you look at behind the scene, you see that red is more in the background. The books, the shelf, all of them are gravitating towards red and brown and yellow. Even the person seated behind her, our major character here, is putting on orangey this thing, and you see most of the books and the shelf, everything are those colors. So you understand why red is dominating in this set. Now, but let's go back a little bit and still take it down a little bit more, not so more, ever so slightly there. Now, if we off our image, so this is we have just done. We have corrected our image to Rec 709, and we have done the first thing. We have corrected the white balance of our image. We've corrected the white balance of our image. Now it is important for you to have a proper white balance. If not, your image at the end of the day will look not so nice. Now we cannot, I skip exposure before the white balance. So now I'm okay, right? Go ahead. Yeah, bright. Go ahead. Right, you're muted. I'm not hearing you. You wanted to ask a question? Okay, so we are going to be moving further ahead. Now, right now, the exposure for me is not totally there. It's a little bit, okay, let's look at our waveform. It's not bad. The exposure is not bad, but everything is overly exposed, meaning that there is no concentration on the character. Now, you cannot have a good image where both the subject and the background are in character, are overly exposed, because your audience will be distracted, not knowing who to focus on. Their eyes will be distracted. They are looking at the books. So we need to look for a way to make sure that our exposure is only in front of our character or on our character, and reduce the background exposure a little bit. However, we need to address the exposure totally. But before we do that, I will have to address the contrast. Now, what is contrast? Is the difference between the bright and the shadow, and usually there are different ways to work on contrast. I'm going to show you two ways, and we will move forward. So the contrast is what helps bring out the juice, the dynamic range of the camera, the image you're working. So so after the white balance, I create another, the next node, let's label it contrast, right? Contrast. So there are two ways to address this contrast. Now you can either use the curve, the S-curve method, or you can use the pivot and contrast method. Now let's use the curve, S-curve, the curve method for the contrast first. So usually what I do is I turn on editable spline. So if you come to this point where you see these three dots here, right click, tap on, you see this editable spline, you tap on it, then tap on the lower part of the curve. I don't know why this thing is there. So tap on this lower part of the curve. Is this my screen I'm seeing? What's going on? Oh, sorry. All right, tap on the lower part of the curve. You see a dots appear, right? Tap on the upper part of the curve, another dot appear. So this, on this first dot, you drag it down a little bit so that you try to compress the exposure from the middle to the shadow a little bit so that it's not too exposed. Then go to the upper side, tap on the seam, then put your cursor on that dot here. Slant it up. Try to form an S. Can do it ever so slightly. So color grading is how gentle you massage it. How gentle you massage it. How gentle you massage it. Our image is becoming too dark, but that is fine. We're trying to do a contrast here. We're taking the S a little bit. Now our image is become too dark now, but it's fine. It's making our skin tone to pop, making our image to pop. That is the contrast. Then we'll now go back to the exposure. Now we bring back the exposure. So usually what I do for the exposure is I go to the HDR wheel, go to the global node, the global wheel. Now you see exposure, EXP. You dial it up a little bit and be watching your image. Dialing it up to like 60-ish. Now let me turn off the exposure node. Are you seeing it? This is with contrast. Now we have addressed the exposure. Are you guys seeing it? So we're still in our primary correction, yeah? And we did 3 things: exposure, white balance, and contrast. Let me turn them off. This is what our image looked like after we did our first transformation from the color space that we shot into Rec 709 and what have you, DaVinci Resolve color space. And now, what we are addressing our primary correction. And so far in our primary correction, this is what we did. This is what we did in our primary correction. Are you guys following? Now we still move further ahead. Or should we stop here? Is the image good enough for us to just leave it like that? Say, okay, fine, let's just export it. Now, our brother that I mentioned earlier, I said our lights is a little bit too everywhere. You know, our light is a little bit everywhere. So I like to address the highlight on its own. So what I do is, after the contrast, so I said I'm going to teach you 2 ways of doing contrast, right? But I've just showed one, but I think because of our time, let's just move forward and maybe tomorrow we'll do the second method of contrast. So I like to, let me address this. Let me highlight. So what I do here is this. I come to our qualifier window. What do you see here? You see hue, saturation, and luminance. Luminance means what? Light. Now, so I'm going to toggle off the hue. I don't want to touch the hue. Hue is color, you know, so I'm going to toggle it off. So you see this, You see this thing here? Are you seeing it? You see this?
Yes.
Good. That's what I'm going to toggle off. Just tap on it. I've toggled down off. I'll come to the saturation. Do the same thing. I don't want to increase the saturation. I'll toggle it off. I will leave only the luminance. So on the luminance, I only want to address where the highlight is too much. So I'll come to this low. I'll type in 65 and come to this L soft by the side. Are you seeing the low here? I type 65. This one. Are you seeing it? Then I'll come to L soft, this one, and type in 15, and I'll write Shift H. Let me see where that will give me. So I'm going to push it down a little bit. So I press Shift H. I don't know what Shift H is in Windows. Maybe somebody will help me with that. Shift H. Shift H. Is it the same thing? Or is it Command H? I don't know. So I type Shift H. The same thing, right? Are you guys getting what I'm getting here? Mind you, I want to be sure we are getting the same image here. So I'll be asking some of you to share your screen so that I will see what you guys have done. Or maybe in the group you have to post what you guys have done. Everybody would have to post what they have done, and let's see. It posts a screenshot. Everyone will have to post a screenshot of what they got at the end of the day. So Shift H is to turn off every other thing and see what our selection has. Now, if you don't want to press Shift H, you come up here. This one here, you show you the negative of what you are doing. When you tap on it, it opens up. So Shift H is the short key. So now I have selected only the highlights in this image. So you see the light is on her cheek a little bit, and on her nose, on her lips, on the book behind a little bit. So I'm coming to after I've turn off the hue, the saturation, it's only the luma, right? And we've done the selection. Then I'll come to this place on the gain wheel. Sorry, hold on a minute. On the saturation, sorry, on the highlight rather, I'll dial the highlight down a little bit, ever so slightly. I think I'm dialing down to like 70. Let's see what that gives us. Okay. Now, this is without what we have done. This is with what we have done. Are you guys seeing any difference?
Yes.
Are you guys seeing any difference? Look at the book. Look at this. Okay. Just look at take your eye to this place, all of this place, and this place, all of this place. Just look at them. Once I toggle it off, look at those places. I see them now. Now, I am still going to dial down the highlight a little bit. So I'm going to leave the highlight rather. I'll go to the gain wheel and use this knob here. This knob, this particular one. I seen it. So I'm going to be dialing it down a little bit. I'm going to be dialing it down a little bit. Come back to the exposure. Take the gamma up a little bit. Guys, are we making progress? So we have addressed the highlights on the image a bit, but we have not totally separated the image from the background. Now, look at the first thing we did exposure. Let me close all of them. The first thing we did the white balance, brought us here. Then we now did the exposure, it brought us here. We now did the contrast, it brought us here. We now addressed the highlights, it brought us here. Guys, be honest with me. What you are seeing is not looking far much better than what we have like this. Apparently it is. Now, so what is the next thing you guys think we should do? So somebody talked about highlights, exposure. We've done the so now what I advise so many people, if you have all of these things right, you don't need to work on your skin tone alone. Sometimes you use your this thing and work qualify and want to treat your skin tone. No, if everything is right, your skin tone will be right, apparently. If everything is right, your skin tone will be right, apparently. So, but maybe you just do some little nuance here and there, no, and you'll be fine. So, we've done under these 4 nodes, we've done our exposure, white balance, and contrast. We've done our highlights. Now, this node, let me use it for saturation. Saturation. Now, I'm not going to do the saturation now until I do HX. Let me see. Let me do on this. I'm now in the parallel node. I'm going to be explaining tomorrow what parallel node is, what serial node is. I'm going to do hue versus sats. Hue versus saturation. Now, under this node, I'm leaving this one up, this one for temperature. So under this one, hue versus sats. Now, under this parallel node, I want to combine all of these things that I'm going to be doing here together. So it will combine together, not side by side. Under this hue versus sats, if you look at our node, our red is still a little bit up, but I want to just touch it a little bit so that, yeah, we would have a better looking image. And when I go to our curve, we'll go to our curve. The first one is what? Hue versus hue. That is hue in the shadow and hue in the highlights. Now, this second one is hue versus saturation. The hue that is the color versus how saturated they are. So I want to address the red. Now, under this hue versus saturation, guys, is this becoming too overwhelming for you guys? Are you tired?
No.
All right. I think if you're tired, you can just talk so that look, I say yes, we are.
No, we are not
Oh.
tired. That one is for a different message.
Oh.
You said, are we following? I said, yes, we are.
Oh,
We are
okay.
Yeah, we are not tired.
Okay. But are you enjoying the lesson so far?
Yeah.
Yes,
All-
definitely. We are.
All right. So under the hue versus saturation, we have red, we have yellow, we have green, we have sky blue, we have blue, we have violet here. Now, I'll take, because we want to address the red, I click on the red. So an icon will pop up on this side. 1, 2, 3. So what I'm going to do is to tap on this icon back here and dial it down a little bit. Just small. Color grading is like massaging. Don't have to be rough. Dial it down, just small. So let's off let's off the node and see. Now, if you look carefully at the image, you see that the red is disappearing from the skin tone. Look at all the reds. Are you guys following? Now,
Yes.
I use the hue versus saturation to address that particular problem. I'm going to even take it down ever so slightly again. Now it is looking like our image is losing color a little bit. It's going to becoming a little bit black and all of that, but it's okay. We're going to come back to it. Now, remember I left the saturation because it's a special thing I'm going to do. So under the temperature, I'm going to still leave that. Let's come back to the saturation. So is your image looking like mine? Are you having the same image I'm having? Micah, are you having the same image I'm having? Mariama, Mariam, I need to hear you say something. Mariam, are you there on mute and say something? Are you having the same image I'm having? Mariam, are you there? Say Mariama. Okay. Samson, are you here? See that some of these people are just on this class and they just mute it and just go and be doing their work. Samson, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, okay, that's fine. Are you having the same image I'm having?
Yes, please.
Okay. So let's make progress then. So under this saturation, now you guys are seeing how we're using different nodes for different purposes. You get so why DaVinci Resolve is better than Premiere Pro is because I mean just imagine like you put like so many adjustment layer. Doesn't make any sense. But here you're just seeing every node, you can label it and you know what they are using for. Yeah, they are used for. So now in this saturation, because I use this hue versus saturation to reduce the saturation of red. Now I want to make the image pop a little bit, right? So I want to make it a little bit saturated. So I'll come to this hue versus saturation. I'll right click and then I want to work in the mid-tone, in the like the DNA of the image. I want to work in the mid-tone. So I don't want the highlight, I don't want the shadow, I just want to work on the mid-tone. So in this saturation, what you can do is to right click and once you right click, you go to colors, sorry, you go to color space. Once you go to color space, you select the HXV. Yeah, come in. You get the HXV. Yeah, come in. Who's there? Call him, call him. Yes, please. So you go to the color space, type the HXV. Once you type on the HSV, you go to the channel. You come down. Now the color space is on HXV, right? Now you come to the channel. You uncheck channel 1. Come back to the channel, uncheck channel 3. So you only have channel 2 checked. Are you guys there?
Yes.
Right. Now, once that is done, remember we have not even gone to the log wheel yet. We're still in the primary wheel. Once that is done, you can come to your gain wheel and that's my notation. You can come to your gain wheel and crank this one up a little bit, this very one. You're adding juice to the image by doing that. Not too much, a little bit here. Let's uncheck it. Now, if you are getting what I'm getting, you would see that you're bringing back the juice of the image, the skin. You're adding blood to to the characters. You're adding life to it. It's not grayed out. Can take it up a little bit. There we go. I think it's fine for me like this. Yeah, I think we're fine like this.
It's not a
Now,
bit glossy, which
sir?
is okay. It's a bit glossy, which is okay.
Right. Now, but it's you don't have to do it too much, just so enough, just a little bit, just enough, here and there at your own discretion at the end of the day. Now, under this other node in the parallel node, we we can we can now I'm thinking of two things. I want to treat the background so that the background would be a little bit, the exposure in the background would be a little bit low so that our image can stand out. Now, I have other method I use, but that one, your system might not take it. Even my system itself, when I use it, is so much. So what I do is I can, please, can you call Connie? I'm having a lecture here. Don't disturb me. So what I can do is you can come on the color space transform, click on this circle here. So we have different options. We have the square, we have the circle, we have the other selectors. So I'm going to walk you through how all of this thing work. First of all, when you off this, you see that is the last one, right? Do you want to work on only on the top part? Or, so are you seeing how it works? So this one just shred the intensity. You can change it anyhow you want. So this side that is grayed out, whatever you do will not affect that side. It will only affect the part that is not grayed out. Yeah. So, but that's not what I need right now. So I want to use this one. I want to use this one and form a circle around the subject. So it's not a vignette. So you do the same thing if you want to do a vignette, but right now I don't want to do a vignette. So I just want to form a circle a little bit around the subject. Now, the other method that I would probably show you maybe in the next class, you don't have to form this vignette. It's called depth map. You can just do your stuff with that. So I can just increase this a little bit, the feather it out a little bit, just circle a little bit. Are you guys doing what I'm doing? Just take it out a little.
Yes.
Yeah, just feather it out a little bit. Now, let's Command Shift Option H, sorry, Shift H, which showed you that this is only what you have selected and other side is not affected, right? But this is not what we want. We want to invert it. So if you go to this key here, are you seeing it? If you tap on
Yes.
it, what you have done will be inverted. So meaning that whatever we're going to do will not affect our subject. It's going to affect every other places except our subject. Do you get? It's going to affect every other place except our subject. So I can just centralize it a little bit. So I'll use our curve, tap on the one below, and take it to the middle a little bit and crank it down a little bit, a little bit. Shift H. Are you guys seeing what we've done? Are you guys seeing what we've done?
Yes.
So we've reduced the exposure of the background ever so slightly. I can, because the lady is sitting a little bit slant, so I can slant it like this. Bring it down so slightly. Bring it up. Now, remember somebody mentioned about that our subject is blasting with the background and all of it. That is what we did with this curve. So let's name this node curve. Curve. So on this node, we use it to reduce the exposure in the background so that our image can stand out. Now, guys, so let me take off this. How are we seeing our image right now? Is it standing out or not? If you look at the image right now, it's standing out. It's not blasting to the background. But what we can do also is to make her pop a little bit more. What I can do on this curve node, I can just write add node, and I'll write add outside node. So now on this outside node, it is the opposite of what I've done in this node that will happen in the outside node. So that means now I'm working on her skin, on her as a person. So I can just come to the midtone and just crank it up a little bit. Crank it up a little bit. Now, somewhere in my head, I feel like our LUT is a little bit too strong for this object. So I want to reduce the intensity of the LUT. So that is why you see this node here that we created a compound node earlier. I will just click on it and come here. In this key output, I don't want it to be too strong. Like I don't want the image to be too like this. So I'm just going to reduce it by half. I'll just type 0.5 by half. No, that's not what I want. 0.5. So I'm reducing the intensity of LUT by half. So it's affecting exposure. I come to the exposure. I'll crank it up a little bit. Now on this temperature, I can just come to the temperature and just choose to take it towards the cool side a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm using a pro version. I want to do a noise reduction to make the image look crisp. So I can choose to do, on a serious note, I think if you look at our hand here, I think our yellow is still shouting a little bit. Let's go back to our hue versus saturation and go back to that and click on this yellow. I want to bring down the yellow down a little bit. Just there. So color grading is all dependent on your creative choice and your how it appeals to you creatively as an individual. So when you look at our image, we have not even touched the skin tone or anything, but I think our image is looking good. It's not looking bad at all. So look at where we start from this to this point. I mean, your client will not sack you if you give him this job as a finished product. Will your client will your client sack you with this kind of job? I'm not sure. So moving forward, I know this is becoming too much. I Okay, Bright, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Bright. You raised your hand, Bright. Go ahead. I'm not hearing you. Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, so in as much as the class is concerned, when we're talking about the skin tone as well to perma knowledge, we know that there are some specific colors in there that the human skins carry. For example, as you are seeing a yellow and also orange as well. Human skin has orange as well. So now looking at the curves, hue, the saturation, right, and the colors beneath there, right? There's no place where you can choose orange as in like specific, like the way we have the red, the yellow, and the green and stuff. So if should in case maybe you want to touch orange, right? How are you going to go about it?
Okay. Looking at this curve that we did, there's no point where you should. Okay, so I will show you that. Now,
Okay.
going forward, right? Primary color, remember, guys, is R yellow, and what again? Is it blue or green? Is it blue or green, guys? Have you forgotten what we started with?
Blue.
Now, the thing is, tertiary color is the combination of both primary and secondary color. So secondary colors are the combination of two primary colors. Then tertiary color is the combination of a secondary color and a primary color that give you um, 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 tertiary color. Now, if you want to get color like orange and other magenta, cyan, which are tertiary colors, you would have to use your nodes. Now, let's take on this node. Let's say I want to do a little bit nuance change to this image, and I'll go to my log view. Let's go to the log view. So all of these things we've done so far in the primary view. The log view now, let's go to the log view here and say I want to just adjust something in the shadow and the highlight. Now look at all of this color here, from the red to the yellow to the green to the and to the blue to the magenta and all of those things. You get your orangey hue in between the red and the yellow. So you see this node here, sorry, this point here, this circle, this dot in the circle. When you push it towards the middle, now you are talking about orange. That's what I'm doing this. Take it towards in between red and yellow. You are adding the orange to the subject. I don't know if you understand. Now, if you take it towards blue and green, you're adding cyan. You're adding teal rather to the image. So that is how you do that. So if you want to, our blood has different colors. So if you want to accentuate certain color and you want to do it very nuanced, you can use that node to transform your image to add colors, to reduce color as much as you want. So but that's not what we are doing here right now. But I just thought you should understand that. You want to add something? Your hand is still raised. Have I answered your question? Right. Okay, good. Now, on this node, what I'm going to do is um I want to add a little bit of sharpness to it. I'm going to add a little bit of sharpness. I'm going to add a little bit of sharpness, and okay, let's just do it. let's see. I wanted to add, there are many things I can do. If I want to do beautifier, I can beautify it. If I want to add texture pop, I can add texture pop. But all of those things are not necessary right now. The most important thing is to get you having a good looking image. And so far, so good. Our image is not looking bad. So what I can do here is to add like sharp. So under this HV ratio, so I go to the middle one here, this blur to sharpen. Under this HV ratio, I'll dial it down a little bit to like 46. Yeah, I'm sharpening the image, making it a little bit sharper. So if I off and on it, you might not necessarily see the effects, but I mean, it is there spiritually. It is there spiritually. So, and on that same note, I'm going to do something on this. So usually, here's this rule of thumb. Rule of thumb. If you want to create a good contrast, make sure the colors are in opposite direction to themselves. So maybe if, like you that asks, I'm taking this image from the midtone, I'm taking it a little bit towards the orange in the midtone, then I'll be sure that I'll come to the highlight and take it towards teal, because teal is like the direct opposite of orange. Okay. Now, if you off and on, you'd be able to see the little nuanced correction that we've done. Let's do our vector scope. So our vector scope is still showing us that we have red overcast a little bit, and that came from our saturation. So let's go back to saturation and dial it down a little bit. Okay. All right, guys. I don't think we're looking bad, are we? So if we do before and after, there's a huge, huge difference. So now to check for me, to check if my skin tone is accurate, because so far we've not even, let's say let me create one more node and just, let me see, let me type it. Okay, let me just leave it blank and just, I use this power window and just select only the skin to see if her skin is sitting right. Whether it's a white person or a dark skinned person, your skin tone must align under the skin tone indication. So let's see, let me pick a chunk of our flesh. I'm not touching any other thing that is not the skin. So, okay, let me shift H.
Please, your screen is awful.
My screen is off.
Yeah, we can see.
Oh. Okay. All right, guys. So now, I see it now.
Yeah.
All right. So, haven't done this, guys. Look at it. Come to the vector scope. I have to press Shift H so that it's only the skin that is selected. I only select the skin. Now, do you see that the skin is on the skin tone line? Guys, are you seeing it?
Yes, we are.
Okay, this is the first lady's voice I'm hearing after almost 3 hours. Now, it is on the skin tone indicator, guys. It means that the skin is at the right point. So it's not what you use your eye to check. Remember, is it the skin tone that we just checked now? It's not something we did like we are saying, okay, let's have a perfect skin tone. No, we are like working to solve other problems. And by the time we solve every other problem, we now realize the result we are having is the fact that our skin tone is accurate. That is how this line you are seeing here is a skin tone indicator. Let me be using the annotation so that you see. So this line you are seeing here is the skin tone indicator, and look at our skin tone. I wish I can magnify this more. Okay, let me do this. Let me do something. Guys, are you seeing the skin tone? Look at it. Look at it
No,
here.
I think you were trying to magnify it. So it looks like a compass. It's not showing.
Oh, okay. So hold on. Okay. Oh, so let me unmagnify it. Since it's not done. So my screen back.
Yes, it is back.
Okay. So this is the skin tone. Let me show you guys. So this is the skin tone now. It's sitting on the skin tone line. It is sitting directly. If you see it, it is so tiny. That's why I'm trying my best to magnify it. So you guys see it. It is sitting directly on the skin tone line, meaning that we have a good skin tone. So there is nothing like maybe using other tools to work on the skin tone. So there's nothing for us to work on when it has to do with skin tone. Our skin tone is accurate. Shift H. Our skin tone is accurate. So any other thing you want to do on this image going forward is dependent on your own creative choice, your own creative aesthetics. Now, I can choose to add noise reduction. I can choose to add many other things. It's up to me. But I think we have brought our image from where it was to a very good spot where we'll be proud to show anybody. So yeah, let's take questions and yeah, and assess how far we've done today, and call it a day. And the second image, I'm not sure. Do you guys like this footage? Because I like it very well. This is Lake Bosomtwe in Kumasi. I was there and it was amazing. It's one of the best things that has happened to me being in Ghana. I mean, this lake is fantastic. I wish I can just stay there. Yeah, question. Yeah, go ahead, Bright.
Yeah, so mine is not actually a question, but
Okay, contribution.
Yeah, so one thing I realized is that, for DaVinci Resolve, it's a very good software. As you said, God bless whoever created DaVinci
God
Resolve.
bless that person.
Yeah, sure. So one thing I realized is that working on the skin tone, right? You see, to me, I thought, checking the skin tone to see whether it has sit well is when the yellow, the mixture of the yellow and the orange and the red, right, sits well, right, within the circle, right? Because in Premiere Pro, that's how you check, if the skin tone is outside the virtual scope, right? Meaning the skin tone is blown out. But according to what you taught, made me understand that DaVinci Resolve has a different approach, and as much as the course is concerned. So if you really want to see whether the skin tone is sitting or not sitting well, you have to use the window, right? The power window to mask out. And do you just select any side? Do you just select any part of the skin, or you look at a portion where there's a mix of the mid-tones, the highlights, and the shadows?
So the skin tone is the entirety. If you want to use Power Window to select the skin tone, right? It doesn't. So you see this idea of yellow, red, cancel it from your head. Just unlearn it, because first of all, when you start thinking of color like that, you start limiting yourself. Do you understand? So it is flexible. Now, if sometimes your skin tone might not be on that line. Maybe if you have different cast of colors on your skin tone. Just imagine like a skin having you have red light, you have different lights bouncing on the skin tone. And you say you want to check or you want to use this and say, it's no. You understand? You have to pick, like on this case, we don't have those kind of lighting. We'll have different kind of lighting, blue, different, like maybe you go to a party club or something where you have different rays of light and all of these things. I think we can address that in another class where we'll have different lighting and see. Do you get? Now, on this case, you don't have all of those lighting, and you can just pick your skin. Because if you go and pick maybe something else, maybe you go and pick a book, add it with maybe you just the entirety. If you want to measure the skin tone with the entirety you are seeing here, you will not get it right. Now, the book have red. The let's do it. Let me mask red. Let me mark something that is red. Yeah. Let's take it to this red. Let's off the power window. Shift H. What is it sitting on the skin tone line?
Not at all. Not at all.
So, but is the color accurate? It is, but it doesn't. What we're looking for is the skin tone. Our skin tone is not there. Now, if you carry it to other places, other things is you see it's moving depending on their colors. I can make this thing bigger. It's bigger already. It's bigger. Made. Okay. So as I'm moving with it, it's selecting different color and it's showing us, it's indicating where those colors are. So that is how it works. So if you want to know whether your skin tone is accurate, select the skin. You understand? Select the skin. Now remember, if you don't have any lighting casting different hue, different color on the skin, you get a hair. But if you have different lighting casting different color, that's a different problem entirely. But it's your skin tone has nothing to do with whether there is yellow, there is red. You understand? All those colors are, remember, our skin, the color we are seeing is what the light our skin absorb and the amount of light it reflects. That is what we are seeing as our skin. So the color of my skin, the texture of my skin, the color rather of my skin is determined by the amount of light my skin absorbs and the amount of light my skin reflects. So that is the variance. We have different variation of skin tones. We have the lighter, the darker, and all of those things. And that's why we say, if maybe tomorrow we'll talk about it, when you're exposing for difference for a Caucasian skin tone, you expose differently. When you're exposing for a darker skin tone, you expose differently, because these skin tones interpret light differently. You understand? They interpret light differently. So that's how it works.
Okay, so
yeah, go ahead.
It's a great section, right? I must commend you for that. So talking about cameras, right? Some of us don't have the money to purchase the Sony and shoot in the log and all that. So we have to go up with the stock footages and all those stuff, and with the one you shared to us. You see, I've been following most creatives, and most of them use the Canon, for example, this Canon 80Ds and all those stuff, and sometimes the 6D Mark IIs. Now, one thing I realized is that most camera, right? For instance, when they go there, they drag all the saturation down and the color tone down and the other stuff down. But in as much as you do that, doesn't mean that it will be equivalent to log profile, right? So for those cameras like that, how can you collaborate, or how are you going to go about it when you bring it to DaVinci Resolve as well?
So, oh my goodness, I feel bad for people that are doing that, because I can't understand. I feel like crying for them because they are trying to get, but the truth is, yeah, you can. What they are trying to do by doing those manual calibration is they want to have as much as possible a neutral image for themselves. But in that case, you are not seeing a color profile. You can start from Rec 709. So whatever you shot, can be adjusted, but you will not start from maybe it doesn't have a color profile. So you are not using the camera's color profile. You start from Rec 709 directly. We'll talk more about that tomorrow.